Hey there guys, it's Limits here, and today I got you a settings video. Now in this video I'm going to teach you the best settings for Modern Warfare 2 that will help you get better gameplay, better graphics, and it will help you in game with some of these settings. First we're going to go into controller. Now what I recommend is leaving all of this the same. Edit your horizontal and vertical sensitivity what you want. I usually run a 7.7. Now the most I recommend using is a 10.10 because anything higher can get a little bit fishy unless if you're on keyboard and mouse, then it might be different. Now going over to advanced and the controller, you're going to want to turn on your target aim assist if you're using controller. Make sure it's on. Aim assist type, the best one is Black Ops by far. Make sure you're running the Black Ops aim assist type. It is very good and you have pinpoint accuracy with it. Aim response curve type. Now use dynamic, same thing. When you put Black Ops and dynamic together, they work very, very well. Next, we're going to go into our graphical settings, and basically what we're going to look at first is on-demand texture streaming. Make sure this is on. If you are running on a low-end PC, you might have to turn this off, but if you're running on console, make sure this is on. Hit square or whatever button is to show more. Now, you can have this on auto like I do, and enable download limits if you have not that good of bandwidth or if you don't have that much space on your console. Next, we're going to have world motion blur and weapon motion blur. These both go together, but basically what we're going to need to do is turn both of those off. They may look cool in game, but they can make you sick, and it's really hard to see enemies with these on. The same thing goes with film grain. It makes the game look slightly better if it was like a movie, but in a game it's not as good for your performance in game because you won't be able to see enemies as well because of this film grain. You probably won't notice it as much, only when you're looking at enemies and other dark things in the game. Depth of view, turn that off. It makes it so when you're scoping, everything around you is kind of blurred. You don't want that because you're not going to be able to see anything around you. You don't want that, so turn it off. Fidelity FX cast, turn that on. It makes your game look really sharp and really clear, so that needs to be turned on. Fidelity FX cast strength, turn that all the way up. When this is all the way up, it makes your game look so crystal clear, and it helps you be able to see those little enemies sitting in the corner. Field of view, this is personal preference. I usually run a 90, some people run 120, some people run 110, but whatever you do, do not run a 60 because that's terrible. Now, once you have your field of view chosen, I prefer 90. That's what I recommend for beginners. Go down to ADS field of view and make it on affected. The reason why you put it on affected is because you wouldn't want to scope in as much as it does on 60 FOV. So when it's at 90 FOV, it'll scope in a different amount so you can actually see more of your screen and it's easier to kill people. Now, weapon field of view, put that on wide because you don't want your weapon taking up half your screen. So it's easier when this is turned off. It doesn't take up as much of your screen, and you'll be able to see more enemies on your screen at once. And it'll look like your gun's scoping in faster, and you'll be able to adjust your aim a lot easier. Next, we got the third person field of view. Same settings as you should up top. Make it as high as physically possible on this though, because third person, if it's lower, you see more of yourself and not as much of your surroundings. With a higher field of view, you can see a lot of your surroundings, including yourself and a lot of the area around you, instead of just yourself in a tiny area. Next, I got first person camera movement. Put that on least 50% because you don't want your screen shaking at all. Same thing with third person camera movement. We don't want the screen shaking. And now keep these all as default. Now here's my brightness setting. I keep it at 50. Usually it's about 50 to 55. That's what the setting should be at. Safe area depends on your screen. Now the last setting I would recommend is crossplay for console players. It's just a lot easier. Unless if you're playing with people on different consoles, then turn this off. It's just easier. It's easier to find lobbies. It's less laggy. And sometimes it's hard to play against keyboard and mouse when you're on controller and vice versa. So turning off crossplay, I would recommend doing. If you have friends that play on the other console, it's fine. This is just a recommendation. But all the other settings are very good to have, and it will help you in game with your KD and how your game looks. So guys, it's been Limits. Hit the subscribe button, like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.